Hello, it's Dave Johnson from Sierra Sotheby's International Realty.
And I'm his wife, Sarah.
And this time around on Living in Reno, we are telling you what it's like to actually live here.
It's wonderful. The end.
Back to you.
Well, I grew up in California, a very small town in California. It's funny because when Dave heard that I was from California, he thought beach, that I grew up on Venice Beach or what have you. No, I grew up in a very country town, a cow town, very small, 100 miles west of here.
Yeah, and she heard that I was from Kansas City, and she thought I was from the cow town.
Well, Missouri.
Right, but it's actually Kansas City is a large metropolitan city, so no cows.
No, and what I have to say is Reno really is the best of both worlds because he is used to a very city, metropolitan feel, and I am used to a very small town, very community-oriented feel. And in Reno, you get both.
Yeah, I mean, I still go, we both go to your parents' house where you grew up, and like you can hear goats. Like if you're in the driveway, you hear goats and chickens and all kinds of wildlife.
And don't get me wrong, there are places in Reno where you would hear that too. Absolutely. You have that opportunity. But if you are living in one of the communities, one of the housing communities in Reno, really and truly, you have the small town feel. You were so surprised when you moved here because people would open the doors for others here in town.
Yeah, that's certainly something I did not expect. It's something I grew up in, not uncommon in the Midwest, but I also lived in Vegas for 2 years before I moved here, so I kind of forgot what that was like. And then moving here was totally different.
And Vegas and Reno really do have different feels. If you're thinking that Vegas and Reno are similar, our similarity stops at the state name, Nevada. You live there.
We actually have a video on the difference between Vegas and Reno and what it's like to live in each, because I've done that. So check that out on our YouTube channel. Another thing to keep in mind when it comes to what it's like living in Reno is it is very, very dry.
Yes.
And that can affect some people differently.
Sure. I mean, your mom loves the humidity, is used to the humidity.
Nobody loves the humidity. My mom loves the humidity, though.
So when she comes here, it is too dry for her.
And she lets us know that again and again. Oh, it's just so dry here.
But there are no bugs.
So dry. We do have some bugs. You always say no bugs. We do have some bugs. But I will say in the Midwest, way more bugs.
Right.
Way more bugs.
There is a very real attempt at bringing the arts and culture to Reno. We have an entire month called Art Town. The entire month of July is dedicated to arts in Reno. But people who move here from very large metropolitan areas do say that they wish there was a little bit more into the art scene.
Well, yeah, but you kind of jumped to events, and that's something else that you need to know about living in Reno and what you can expect. There are events all the time.
All the time. We are in the month of September, and we're looking out our living room windows, and you can see hot air balloons flying around.
Yep, that's the Great Reno Balloon Races. Those are an annual event in September. Awesome to see in the sky. You really can see them from pretty much anywhere in the Reno area.
Anywhere in town.
Yep. So it's pretty cool to see that in September. You've got what? Santa Crawl. You've got Art Town you mentioned. You've got Holiday August Nights, Street Vibrations, Rib Fest. I mean, it's a lot.
There are so many things to do in this community, and a lot of them are free for the family, which is fantastic.
Yeah, and that's the next one. You're a good seguer because family. It's a great place to raise a family. Is Reno?
I can read your mind.
I know. It's like you saw the list before we started recording. It's amazing.
Yep, it is a very family-friendly place to live.
Yeah, with all those events. The people are nice, the schools, all of it kind of blends well to have a nice family environment. A little bit different in Vegas, but again, you can check out that video for that because it's a whole different vibe for sure.
And I have no comment because I've never lived in Vegas. True story. I helped Dave move from Las Vegas up here to Reno. It was in the month of July.
Yeah, okay. We'll save that story for the other video though, because
Mm.
that's the comparing Reno and Vegas video. Well,
Hmm.
you can go see that one on our Facebook page, but we'll get to that. But one other thing I wanted to mention when it comes to what it's like living in Reno, and that is one thing I do find very frustrating. Nonstop flights from the Reno airport can be a challenge.
They are working on that. In fact, we just saw a presentation where the Reno Tahoe International Airport is working to increase their nonstop flight numbers. But we do have a really good regional international airport.
Yeah, the airport is great. It truly is, and they're actually going to be doing upgrades over the next 5 years or so. Increase the parking, increase the size of the terminals. That's all awesome. But if you want to get to, let's say, Boston, not nonstop. If you
Right.
want to get to Miami, probably not nonstop. If I want to go back to my hometown of Kansas City, certainly not nonstop. Again, though, as we get more people living here and as the airport is able to kind of focus on these issues, there are more nonstops
Sure.
expected. But right now, the big nonstops are Vegas, Phoenix, San Francisco, Oakland,
Denver.
all the big kind of hubbish airports. I think Dallas is probably one of them too that you can
Yeah.
get nonstop.
A lot of the nonstop flights that we have take you to a hub where you can then catch the next flight.
Yeah, so if you do have a longer destination, we pretty much always go through one of those cities.
Yeah.
Denver's another one
Right.
that's a nonstop.
We do have a nonstop to New York
Yeah, I think it's
once a week.
yeah. It's I was just gonna say it's only once or twice a week, so it's one of those things. It's like, and that's better than nothing. But yeah, the nonstop thing, because it's weird. Growing up in Kansas City, we had nonstops to pretty much anywhere you want because
Right.
mainly because though we're in the middle of the country, it's like
Hmm.
dead center, so it's easier to have nonstops. So
And true story, where I grew up in Northern California, the closest airport, Sacramento Airport, with traffic and parking would take us about an hour to an hour and a half to get there. And then Reno is about an hour and a half away from where my parents live. So a lot of times people in the community where I grew up would fly out of Reno just
mhm.
because it's an easier airport to navigate.
True, and you can also do the opposite. There, I know we've done it where
Hmm.
we've flown out of the Sacramento airport because of that nonstop issue. So just something to keep in mind. Hopefully, those things will help give you an idea of what it's like to live in Reno. Please subscribe to the channel and click like on this video. That certainly helps us out a ton. We love those subscribers, and we will see you on another episode very soon.